Welcome to the Movie Club Podcast.
So, everybody, welcome to the FlixPop Movie Club Podcast. We're here going live. We're live from Tony T's Sausage Hut Studios here in beautiful Kinnelon, New Jersey, on the compound. And if you ever came up to the compound here in Kinnelon, as you go in, you got to look to the right and the left because there's cameras on the trees, and they know everybody who's coming in here. Robert Errera, how are you today, my friend?
Say that again, real quick.
What, you missed all that?
There's cameras in the trees. I didn't see that on the way
All right,
in.
I'm going to start over. Do I need to do my clap again?
No, you'll know where to start.
Okay. All right, everybody, welcome to the FlixPop Movie Club Podcast. We're here at beautiful Sausage Hut Studios here in lovely Kinnelon, New Jersey. It's great. We're on the compound of Sausage Hut Studios. And here with us in the studio, on the board, of course, making everything happen behind the scenes is Tony T. How are you today, Tony T?
I'm very well, Paul. How about yourself today?
You know what? I'm pretty cool. I was just telling everybody before we got on air, I was explaining that when you come into the compound, there's cameras. There's on the right.
A lot of cameras.
And they're on the trees and everything like that. And I couldn't figure out if it was just because of the gummies. Because usually, for these shows, usually the pregame around 5 o'clock, and
I saw you out there,
Okay.
man. I saw you out there.
So, then we start talking about, a lot of the sinkholes that are going on. We're going to get into all this. I want to introduce my guest, Robert Errera. Rob, how are you today?
I'm doing very well, Paul. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. Rob is a repeat guest. I repeat, a repeat guest.
Glad to be back here in the Sausage Hut, my home away from home.
Yes, and I'm sure that the family back home thinks that too, because now we're really starting to monopolize your time. You were on the radio show first on WGHT, FlixPop Radio, and then you came and you did the first ever movie club podcast broadcast with us on zombie horror films.
I love zombies.
So the question really is, since that happened and since we had that show, have you put together a zombie bag?
A zombie go bag, yeah. I do have a go bag. And I say it would work for zombies, and it does have some gummies in it, which I think is important.
No, you need to have that because you just don't know what the hell kind of atrocious shit you're going to see during an apocalypse. Right, Tony T? What are you doing?
Could happen.
Tony, what are you doing when that happens? The first thing. Do you even know? Have you considered?
I'm running for the basement, dude.
The basement of your own house?
Yeah,
of the compound?
Grab the weed, a couple jugs of water.
Right. Do you have canned food and stuff down there? Is it ready? So really it's not going to help you for very long.
Just grab and go.
Right, but what are you going to do in the next couple of days when it's time to get food and stuff like this?
I'm going to blow my fucking brains out.
Yeah.
No, the National Guard will come around and take care of things and clear things up.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, I'm very
so you
sure.
just got to hang out for maybe a week.
A week?
But I don't know. Think about it, Tony T.
A week.
In the original Night of the Living Dead, that's what they did. They ran to the basement ultimately.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? It did work. The guy did make it through the night, but unfortunately, he was killed by his rescuers the next morning.
And this is a genre violation.
Yes, it is.
So I'm going to throw the flag on you for that. So today's genre and today's key feature genre is
Documentary movies.
all right, documentaries. And documentaries are. So this is a pretty cool one. I've been looking forward to this because all the other ones are low-hanging fruit when you think about it, right?
No, actually, I must say, as your guest, I'm here under protest.
Okay.
I think that the documentary genre is underrated, unsung, and I don't think it's fair that they're all lumped together. For instance, say you were to go into a bookstore and you were to go, all right, here's the fiction section where they have romance and horror and mystery and family dramas and all those things. And then here's the nonfiction section, which is cookbooks and sports biographies and philosophy books. And you got to compare all those to each other. Whereas with the fiction, you do it the service of breaking it down into genre.
So and subgenres too.
Subgenres too.
Yes.
Rob, I've missed you, man.
Oh, I
really
missed you too, man.
Yeah, I missed that. Like that was beautiful.
You like me protesting, Paul, and being
He doth protest.
just the way you delivered that statement.
But he's not done, though. Go ahead.
Well, no, it's similar to like a bookstore or going into even a grocery store and saying, okay, we're gonna judge all the produce against everything else in the store. It's a disservice to everything else in the store. So again, while I'm under protest, I would say, Paul, I understand where you're coming from. You're thinking like a member of the Motion Picture Arts and Science Academy.
How dare you?
A voting member of the Oscars who also groups the Oscars themselves group documentaries
So
into
listen,
one category.
When I give them my
Yes.
vote, when I give the Oscars when I give the
Yes.
Academy my,
They come to you usually first.
no, they give you it's like when you vote in the Oscars with the Academy, they give you like a ballot.
Okay.
And you take the ballot and you look at it and you fill it out and then you like send it back, right?
Right.
And now it's done electronically, obviously, but it used to
Right.
be an actual like survey
Yeah.
you'd get like in the mail,
Like a
right?
Scantron or
like a
something.
Scantron, and you
Yeah.
would like go down and do the list and everything. And for me, my favorite thing about voting and about giving the Academy like my votes every year is that I actually enjoy like documentary is one of my favorite genres.
Yes. Well,
As you know,
Yes, I do.
I am a documentary filmmaker.
You are a documentarian.
I've made 4 full-length documentary films.
Yes.
And so the thing about that is that to me it's an interesting kind of a thing. And I'll say this. When you talk about the other genres, so you talk about like classic comedy, you talk
Right.
about horror, right? These are all escapism things in my mind, right? From
Okay.
escapism from life. Like when you talk about The Shining, you're in that supernatural world of that
Sure.
movie genre,
Yes.
as opposed to with the documentary. Like Super Size Me or something. This
Right.
is true shit. This is like
Yeah.
this is like it's not you can't let your guard down like you do with these other genres when you talk
Right.
about documentaries.
Right. It's like reading a newspaper as opposed to reading a novel.
Correct.
You know,
Right,
whereas
right,
like
right.
the newspaper is real. It's in your face.
Sure.
It happened. you
Sure.
know?
And also it's a less enjoyable, if you ask me, it's a
Okay.
less enjoyable way to consume
Yes.
like a film or a piece of work. Or,
Yeah,
there's other
yeah.
ways. There's books, right? There's
No.
electronic books. There's everything.
Sure. Now, why is it though? Why is it we put that extra value on the fantasy that we create as far as fiction films?
Because we live in a goddamn shit show, Rob. That's why.
All right. Oh,
Tony T will
okay.
tell you, because we live in a shit show, and you know what
Yeah.
what we want to do
You
is
wanna
we
escape.
want to escape that. Sometimes we want
Sure.
to dive into the escape that is cinema,
Right.
cinematography,
Right.
And that's why that is. And when you talk about these other genres of
Yes.
like movies, like there's musical movies, they're
Sure.
on the outskirts too.
Yeah.
The all the noirs,
Yes.
all of the documentary type of like genres, they're all that's true stuff. It's you're
Right.
documenting something, and it usually has to do with life.
Yep.
But there are some examples, right? And we're going to get into some of those, like that are actual dramatic documentaries, if you will. And then there's one that comes to mind, which is Spinal Tap, which is like a comedy,
Yes.
filmed,
Well,
documentary.
now you're getting into the mockumentary, which is like a whole. What would you call that? Is it a subcategory of the documentary, or is it a fiction? It's more of a fiction.
say it's a
right?
subgenre, right, Tony T? Like, what would mock documentaries be?
There's a lot of categories, man.
Right,
I
but
can't
they would
keep
be
up.
they would be kind of subgenres. So they do have subgenres.
I would think so, but I've seen some. Actually, I really enjoy the mockumentary format as far as Spinal Tap, and then they did a whole bunch of others. A Mighty Wind, and
Yeah.
Waiting for Guffman was like another one.
Right.
Lake Mungo.
Lake Mungo. We talked a lot about Lake Mungo last week in our show.
Oh no way!
Yeah, we did.
That's
Well,
one
it's a
of-
paranormal movie. You
It's
know?
one of my favorites.
Is it
dude.
really?
I love it.
You got to
It's-
watch that. We had the paranormal girls in here.
Yeah.
We had Joe. What was his last name? Serini or something?
Joe Mama.
Joe. We had Tony's cousin who passed away. He was talking to us on the
Wow, that's fantastic.
on the talk box and everything. All right, listen. Here's what we
Wow.
need to do.
Okay,
'cause
I'm sorry.
No,
We're
it's
drifting.
not your fault. It's my fault. Actually, you know what we'll do?
Yeah.
We'll blame all this shit on
Yes.
Tony T.
I'm the man.
He's
All right,
the
man.
sausage hut
He
king.
knew that was coming too. He knew he was just going to get blamed for something or whatever, man. All right, we appreciate you. Like I tell everybody all the time, like nothing happens here at Sausage Hut Studios unless like Tony's moving the button, turning the dial, moving the lever, pulling the strings, producing everything. And so before we get into it though, pretty soon he's blasting off with his podcast, Tony T's Roadshow, which is going to be like super freaking cool. I can't wait for it to be involved in any way that he'll have me be involved in it. We have The Reset with Stephanie Shore, which is really killing it, getting downloads, and she's a nurse practitioner that does a health show. We have the Movie Club podcast here, which is what we're doing tonight, which is tremendous. And now what I'd like to do, as we always do on our shows, I'd like to just bat this back and forth. It's kind of like a little bit of a tennis match between three people, maybe a little pickleball.
All right.
First of all, do you understand pickleball? You play?
I do not understand it.
Me neither.
It looks like you have a wiffle ball and a
There's
giant
just some
ping pong
stuff, and you're
paddle.
hitting things around, and it's like
Right.
miniature tennis, and like
Right.
it's like serious, but it's not. I don't really get it. And there's no pickles involved. I mean, so there's no
No.
pickles. There are
Yeah.
no pickles involved. All right. So what I like to do every show is I like to get to know our guests a little bit more. And the game we're going to play is called Yes, No, Either, or. Gives us the opportunity to do just that. So it's kind of like cutting Rob's head open from the side to side, right? Opening
Right.
that shit up, okay? Showing the audience, all right? And
Look.
showing that off, all right? So, you ready to go?
No.
I got to do one for Tony here. Tony T. Do an example so people at home, they kind of like know what's coming.
Shoot, man, shoot.
All right. Speedo, yes or no?
You mean those cock shorts? No, man.
80s basketball shorts or 2024's basketball shorts?
I don't know what 2024 was, but I'll go with it, man.
They're the long ones now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And okay, pancakes or omelet for breakfast?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, you got to go with the pancakes, right?
I think so too. I had some banana pancakes recently, so okay. I think you get it. I think Rob gets it because he's a veteran of the show.
I'm
You
a
actually,
veteran.
well, not for nothing, but you're
Yeah.
actually setting a record today.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, you're setting a record for the most appearances.
I am honored.
You really no, you know.
I
what,
am.
You know, before we get into this, I have to say, well, all our guests when they come in, they're all pretty knowledgeable because I feel like when they come in here, they understand that there's like millions of viewers. I mean, you know,
Sure.
and if you come in here and you like fall on your face, it's a pretty epic fail, right?
Yeah.
So when they come in, they usually have game and everything, but you.
Yes.
You, my friend.
Me.
You have a different level of game.
Well, I hope I can maintain that with the documentary format.
Right.
I'm not as versed with documentaries as I am with zombie horror, but
But I know
I'll
you
do
did,
my best.
I know you did your homework.
I did.
All right.
I did.
So listen, here we
I
go.
boned up.
Trays in the upright position. Prepare.
Okay.
For impact. Last Dance or Hoop Dreams?
All right. Well, let me start off by saying sports documentaries are not very interesting to me.
Okay.
I think sports in and of themselves have their own drama. They are like a live theater in a way with athleticism thrown in there and a time element. So, yeah. So, in general,
That's why I gave you two of them.
I don't like, all right. You got Last Dance, which is Michael Jordan.
You must choose one of these.
You know, Michael Jordan and I share a birthday, which is
Get
nice.
outta here.
We
Okay.
were both born in February 17th.
I'm sure you guys have a very similar vertical leap as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely we do. Yeah. And Hoop Dreams is a classic, though, about young kids trying to become professional basketball players.
Yep.
Can I say When We Were Kings, which is an entirely different genre? When We Were Kings is about boxing, about Muhammad Ali and
Last Dance or Hoop
Frasier.
Dreams?
Hoop Dreams.
Won't You Be My Neighbor or Miss Americana?
All right, so you have Mr. Rogers versus Taylor Swift.
That's right.
And as much as, my daughter loves T-Swizzle, I'm going to have to go with Won't You Be My Neighbor.
Is that
Mr.
what they
Rogers.
call her? T-Swizzle?
I think so.
I'm curious if you made that up or that's what they
No,
actually call her.
I think they had some call her T-Swizzle. I don't know why.
Okay. 13th or Citizen 4?
All right. 13th goes through the roots of racism in America.
Mm-hmm.
Citizen 4, that's about like the traitorous Edward Snowden or something.
Yes.
So I'll go with the 13th. That was actually an important one. The 13th.
I never got the whole Snowden thing.
Yeah, me neither, really.
And unfortunately didn't really delve into this movie so much.
Yeah.
But that is kind of interesting story.
Yeah, it's very interesting, but I've never really viewed him as a hero like some people do.
Well, that's my rub with it. I don't know whether I seriously have no idea. Like, is he good? This man good? This man bad? Like what? I don't get it.
Okay. All right.
All right. Free Solo or the Rescue. And I was going to ask Tony this one, but I got no shot. He ain't seen none of this shit, man.
Forget about it.
Free Solo or the Rescue?
Isn't Free Solo that Star Wars movie? No, that's about a Han Solo.
No, it's
about mountain climbing.
I see what you did with that.
You say he was clever.
Yes.
Clever.
It's mountain climbing, and it's about like the life and the rigors of it. But it follows the story of people who,
Yeah, it's the rigors of free solo climbing, which is like with no ropes,
no harnesses.
This is what I'll tell you this. Personally, I have an interest in actually both of these subjects because one is mountain climbing, which I do neither of these things, but they fascinate me probably because I'm afraid of them. One is climbing mountains, and the other one is diving in caves underwater, which is part of the rescue. That's about they rescued these 13 children who got stuck in this cave system in Thailand, and they had to do some pretty daring underwater scuba work in a cave. Can you imagine the paranoia of you're in the dark underwater, walls closing in, walls stopping? You know what I mean? And you got to back out. Crazy.
These people are made of different stuff than of which I'm made.
Yes. As are the people of the Free Solo. This is what I want to know. How do they get back down? It's one thing climbing a mountain with no ropes, but it's the descent that will kill you. You know what I mean?
But they don't really cover the descent so much.
Not as much.
Almost in all films or whatever that are about. Is that me or you?
I think it might be me. Me turning off.
Out of all films that are,
Yeah, it's about reaching the top. It's not about coming back down.
Right. How do you get back down?
Yeah, except for, now here's an interesting, was it a documentary? I think it was. Into Thin Air was his book by John Krakauer. And it was about the 1996 Everest exploration.
Yeah.
And everybody made it to the top, but they started late in the day, too late in the day to be trying to do it. So they came down, and there was this sudden weather storm, and like 30 people were wind up being lost in the storm. A bunch died, and that was so that was really a story about the terror of the descent. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And how the danger really happens then.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Most films are not. They're about reaching the top. Free Solo is my answer.
All right.
Of those two. Sorry about the diversion.
No. Listen, no worries. Okay. The Jinx, The Life and Death of Robert Durst, or Tiger King.
Oh, wow. See, now this is what I'm talking. Apples and oranges. You got a true crime documentary.
You got to go left or right here on this one.
True crime, the Robert Durst story was, that's a kind of a classic American tragedy.
I know
right?
you love these stories. This is why I include that
I do
particular
like the dark
documentary
stuff.
there, Robert Durst.
I like the dark stuff.
It's like an OJ, whatever.
Yeah, it's similar, but it's also like he was this very wealthy real estate heir. And it just shows you how, back in high school, we would read Oedipus and Antigone.
Maybe you did. I didn't read shit. Either did Tony T.
Tony, I thought you were reading Oedipus.
Did you read Moby Dick?
I smoked a lot of weed.
Okay.
In case you haven't noticed, the show's 420 friendly. But go ahead, Rob.
I see. Okay. But yes, Greek tragedy always likes to see the mighty fall, right?
Sure.
You want to see the king taken down. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what that Robert Durst tragedy is to me. It's like they love to see someone in power and wealthy, do something terrible and be caught for it, That being said, Tiger King.
Come on, how do you beat Tiger King, dude? It's a great movie. It's a great documentary.
Was that just COVID popular, or was it actually?
No, it was all things. It was all things conspiring together.
Okay, it just
for
came
the
at the right
cause
time,
of lunacy,
when people were home and acting weird.
No doubt.
And that Joe Exotic struck everybody's nerves.
I think that like Joe Exotic was just really entertaining for like that time, that and it wouldn't maybe have been so entertaining if we weren't all just like stuck in a place binging.
Like if it
things.
came out now, would people dig it?
Probably, I would have to say no, because nothing is dug as we don't dig anything as much as we did as during the pandemic.
Yeah, you were kind of stuck inside.
Yeah,
and everything
you know?
was like great.
Yes, I need an ambulance to the GW's on Animal Park now.
The caller tells 911 that someone has shot themselves in the head. It's Travis Maldonado, the husband of park director Joe Exotic.
The hard part to accept right now, especially when I'm the one who bought the gun.
In the Tiger King series, it is stated that Travis removed the clip from his weapon, believing it would render it harmless. And yet, the firearm discharged.
Got a call on the radio. George calls, and he stabbed to the office. Now. I was up there, and I hauled ass all the way down the sidewalk into the gift shop, and that's where it happened. And I said, what's up? And he goes, it's in there. And I went in there, and I saw him.
But I'll say this. I liked the Joe Exotic songs. I thought they were pretty good.
Dude, that is a great documentary. It's like a car crash or a wreck you can't look away from. It's like
it was a mess. Yeah.
The guy, and it's like an outlandish. Which one is it? Tiger King or Robert Durst?
Well, I saw Tiger, and a tiger saw a man. I'm gonna go with Tiger King.
Tiger King. That's a big choice right there, man. You learn a lot from somebody from there. So now I got a multi-director documentary here choice for you: Fahrenheit 9/11, 9/11,
yes.
or Bowling for Columbine.
Michael Moore,
man.
People tell me that I look like Michael Moore.
You have a little bit of resemblance.
Especially when I'm wearing a baseball cap.
I'm so glad you brought that. I'm so glad you brought that.
Rob.
Yeah, especially when I'm wearing a baseball cap, which I did wear tonight, just so I could make this Michael Moore reference.
Well, he's a very handsome man, Michael Moore.
He is quite handsome. He's known as a handsome
Listen,
man.
the guy is like calendar material. So
yeah, for sure.
Yes, you can see from the picture up there on the screen.
All right. Fahrenheit 9/11 or Bowling for Columbine.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to go for, I think, Bowling for Columbine. As much as I liked Fahrenheit 9/11, I think it, again, Bowling for Columbine is about the problem of guns in America and violence, school violence, school shootings. Nowadays, they've become, sadly, very commonplace, these school shootings.
But doesn't it seem, if you go back and you talk and you think about Columbine, it seems like it was the first one for us.
That was like the first one that kind of broke our cherry, so to speak.
But I don't think it was.
It
wasn't the first one. It was just the first one where we all like sat back and said, this can't happen anymore.
Yeah.
And why did it happen? And the thing about it was the black coats.
Yeah.
The trench coat mafia. And we never really got a chance up to that point to see young people with such angst.
I think it was, even going back to like the 50s, you had the motorcycle youths of, they were like the rabble rousers. You had the hippies. You had the other, angry skinheads in the 70s and 80s. But you're right. I think it was really Columbine that showed that these kids are just pissed, and they're willing to die for it.
A different level of anxiety, a different level of angst, a different level of tragedy.
Like maybe other generations have had that same level of angst, but they've never had the access to weapons that are available in this country.
And that's a whole other thing. We're not going to get political with it, but how about this one? This is another one. So I made this list. I make every week.
It's a good list so
far. Well, I make the list with my guest in mind.
Oh,
and
thoughtful.
Rob is a musician. Amy or Whitney?
I'm going to go Amy.
Dude,
Amy Winehouse.
I loved Amy Winehouse, I have to say.
love her.
Tony
love her
T, weigh in on Amy Winehouse, please.
Oh, she's phenomenal. Yeah.
Yes.
Bro, listen, not only, I thought she was hot, too.
Yeah.
Like, that's just me.
No, I hear you.
But that voice, dude?
Yeah.
Come on, my God.
It was an incredible voice, and it's
Dude.
always strange when you hear voices come out of people that don't quite match their stature,
Sure, yeah.
And she really had like a big black diva voice. You know what I mean? Like almost like
was
a Aretha Franklin type voice.
Just big as a
in a
room.
kind of tiny white English woman's body.
Yeah.
It's always interesting to me when I hear Adele speak too, because Adele has such a beautiful singing voice, and then she's like real Cockney, like she sounds like she's from.
And it's like it doesn't. You're like, whoa, you
it's
take it back a little bit, you know?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So if you guys know, Rob's a singer also, but when he opens his mouth, it sounds like Frank Sinatra.
Well, you just heard me do a little Tiger King.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm
it's
I'll
like
stand
deep
by
and
that.
nice. Yeah, right.
But one other thing I kind of, and I don't know if I should appreciate this about Amy Winehouse, but you know, she was a person who was like, they want me to go to rehab. I'm not going. I'm just going to keep drinking. And she did until she died. So at least she stuck to her guns.
Listen,
how strange they were. Now, it reminds me a little bit of Lane Staley, the guy from Alice in Chains. I think he kind of sung a lot about being having drug problems, and basically was like, I can afford it. I do it a lot. And he just did it until he died.
But you want to know something? In this choice right here, Amy Winehouse ain't got nothing on Whitney Houston. Okay, when you're talking about like, you know, being party girls and drinking and destroying their self and everything,
That's
and Whitney
true.
did the same goddamn thing.
Oh, she did.
And
It's a
you
shame.
know, a lot of people can. The reason I put these two together.
Plus, she's a Jersey girl, Whitney Houston.
Listen,
so you gotta love her for
there's a
that.
whole bunch of. I actually had these two documentaries listed, and you know, I put them together based on the fact of how similar that they are.
Yeah.
You know, in so many ways, not just with but the arc of their career and everything.
You're very right, man.
But
Absolutely.
But great couple of movies there. Okay, Super Size Me.
Oh,
or American Factory.
American Factory, is that the one with the Chinese and Americans working together in a factory?
And then there's there comes to a head. They have to learn how to like deal with each other. And there's a lot of different drama around it. And then of course, Super Size Me.
Yeah, Morgan Spurlock, the director. I love. Actually, I'm going to go with Super Size Me because I love Morgan Spurlock. His work is great. He did this really interesting one called Rats, which was a documentary shot in New York City, where he basically just like lowered a camera beneath the sewer grates, and you would just see eyes and for miles of just rats beneath this New York City.
Oh, I just heard about this.
It's terrifying because he basically like, all right, there's one rat walking by a garbage can. And what the rats would do is they would send out a scout to kind of see if it's a safe area.
Right.
So, you know, you would see a rat crawl out of a sewer, and he would lower the camera just into the sewer, and there'd be just a horde of rats just waiting to kind of come out or see what the explorer rat was finding.
You want to stay back a little? Uh-oh.
Y'all doing the rent? We done called 311 1,000 times about this corner right here. They come and said we don't have a rat problem. What?
All right, here we go.
Thousands of rats running around. Thousands of them. Get that bag right there.
Here they come. Back.
And if you come late at night, they running across the street and everything. Yeah, they said we don't have a rat problem.
It's always.
So, yeah, Rats was a terrifying and kind of disgusting documentary from Morgan Spurlock. Rest in peace, Morgan.
All right, gonna go a little deep here now on a couple. Man on Wire or Hero Dreams of Sushi.
Oh, these are both documentaries about obsession. In Man on the Wire, you have Philippe Petit, I think his name is. He was walking between the Twin Towers, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to be nuts to do that sort of stuff, but again, you have to be obsessed. You have to have such a passion for that. Now, Hero Dreams of Sushi, about a little man at a subway station in Tokyo who makes sushi for years and years and years.
Dude, it's great.
But it is fascinating.
It's fascinating.
I think I'm going to go with Hero Dreams of Sushi.
I'm with you, bro, on this one.
Yeah.
I'm totally with you.
It's a
Tony T, go see Hero Dreams of Sushi.
Yeah,
I just wrote it down.
Okay, good. You got to go see that, and my listeners too. Another one. So Rob and I, we have like a long history. We were, in a band together, going way, way back, and there's somebody, this figure that is in this particular choice, OJ. Made in America. All right, and during this show, I'm going to play them something. If you can give me something from Orenthal.
Oh, I would love that. Yeah.
Because Rob wrote a concept album named Orenthal.
Right, back in 1995,
whatever
I think, when
it was,
this was happening.
and I actually
you brought it to life,
I
dude.
performed on it.
You brought it to life.
I performed. You wrote the whole thing. It was really great. But OJ Made in America or 20 Feet from Stardom.
Ooh. Again, you're talking true crime, one of the most recognizable crimes in American culture. But I tell you this, just like I hate the sports docs, I love a music doc. So I'm going to go 20 Feet from Stardom. Dude.
Really?
I love
for OJ?
Again,
it really just depends on, like, did you think that they did a good job of portraying that in that documentary?
they did do a good job with the OJ. It was it was fascinating.
Because really, when you think about, let's talk OJ a little bit, because people are fascinated, and we have have ratings to consider here, and so let's give them some of their OJ fix, like even in this podcast here.
Right,
1994 is it?
Yeah,
I'm watching the Knicks in the NBA Finals, and they're playing Houston, I guess it was, and all of a sudden they break in into emergency update, and they show the white Bronco, and it's going down the street. Yeah. To me, in a way,
a slow speed
chase with the white Bronco. To me, that might be. This is not really hyperbole.
Yeah.
I want to say that it is the defining television moment of my life and of our life, in terms of like the time that we've been on this earth.
Sure. It's certainly one of them. Watching the towers fall, though, that was one of them.
That's right.
But yeah, I would say that was, and it was the first time it was like some kind of reality event, kind of like broke into a big basketball game. You know what I mean? Like it
with
was
something huge is happening. Yeah.
And it went on for hours, where we all kind of glued to the TV, like what's going to happen next?
And you heard the buzz, like in the arena, and the players they were seeing what was going on, and everybody knew, and then like when the game was over and whatever, but at the end of the chase, like they cut every time they had a shot, they'd cut to it, and they'd show him like
they'd be like his Bronco in front of his house,
and they'd have like you just see the two figures like in the car, but you wouldn't necessarily see, and then like in one of the most iconic video things ever is like hit the highway shot and seeing all of the people lined up and parked and outside their vehicles on the sides of that
the highway,
that California highway. What was that for you?
It was a slow speed chase with fans on the side. I think we had a track called that from our album Orenthal.
Oh yeah.
So that was an instrumental track.
Okay.
But yeah, and at the time watching it, it really was some kind of very strange, again, tragic tale where OJ was a hero. Everybody loved OJ, and suddenly he was accused of this terrible crime, and he was on suicide watch, and the world was on the edge of their seat, kind of waiting to see what was going to happen next. So it really was a kind
I just can't believe the motherfucker got away with it, man.
He was still looking for the real killer, I think.
Well, I mean, listen, first of all, the dude's dead.
Right.
And I'll be honest, I think every single person who, when they heard the news that OJ was dead,
right.
It was kind of like hearing when like Obama died. I'm not Obama, when Osama bin Laden
died, yeah.
There I go again.
There you go.
I have Obama dead. I have Obama dead.
Here's Jack.
Here's I'm home. That's funny shit.
Paul's been saying a lot of stupid shit up here weekly.
I don't believe it.
You know what, man? When you talk as much as me for a living,
yeah,
I'm gonna say some fucked up shit, man.
Things happen.
I'm gonna.
Thank you for listening to the Movie Club podcast.